I went into Terrifier 1 with the lowest of expectations and came out impressed by the talent of director Damien Leone. Even if I was less impressed by the quality of the film itself, it still left me curious to see if this filmmaker would improve on his craft in the sequel. And he kind of does, but unfortunately this movie ultimately ends up feeling like one step forward, one step back. Terrifier 2 is basically the opposite of Terrifier 1. While I felt part 1 was a bad movie that was elevated by Damien Leone's talent as a filmmaker, part 2 is essentially a good movie that is brought down by Leone's self-indulgence. And what exactly do I mean by that? I'll just be blunt. This movie is way too long. There was a point where I was like, okay, the movie feels like it's drawing to a close. There's probably like 10 more minutes left. And then I looked at the time and there was still half an hour left. And the reason behind this length seems to be that Damien Leone is unwilling to cut anything. There are so many self-indulgent moments and random ideas that just don't need to be here. For instance, there's a dream sequence where the movie suddenly devolves into a musical number for no particular reason, and up until the last 5 seconds or so of the scene, it has no bearing on the rest of the movie. It maybe could have been a fun little minute-long aside, but the scene drags on for like 5 minutes. It's practically unbearable and just unnecessary, and these sorts of things happen repeatedly throughout the movie. It's not even that the scenes are bad most of the time, though. It's just that they go on forever. The pacing of even the good scenes crawls at a snail's pace. And when I say good scenes, I mean it. The same compliments I gave the last movie about the horror and humor of Art the Clown and the quality of the filmmaking still apply here, but even more so because this time, those good elements are applied to an actually engaging story. Unlike the last movie, this one actually has a story with actual characters that we can actually care about. There was even one moment that I found legitimately touching, which I can't believe I'm saying about a frickin' Terrifier movie. They were so on the right track with this one. It would be really awesome if it just didn't outstay its welcome in such an egregious way. I'd love to see the fan edit where they cut out like 30 minutes because I guarantee that would be a much better movie. But as it stands, Terrifier 2 is a compromised film. In my opinion, it's a 5 out of 10.